Hello. I wish a happy Sunday. It's the holiday of the tree in Israel. Let's look at the greenery in this case. I have chosen the subject, the flow within you, food for the flow within you. And why did I choose it? Because I feel this was for me the initial point, well-being. When I got to know macrobiotics, it was at the times of the unfortunate nuclear accident in Chernobyl. And I was nourished for 1 week in a course, in a macrobiotic international course. I was fed macrobiotics. Then after 1 or 2 days, I felt so different, so clear, so in the speed, you know. For me, this is well-being is the word for macrobiotics and for the lifestyle of macrobiotics. My name is Lina Balzer. I'm speaking here from Germany, and I'm greeting the Sunday of everybody, wherever it is. I'm a specialist for what can I say, for food for the skin, for health and food, and for health and skin. People come to me to get advice for their skin. I'm even giving natural cosmetic facials. And I'm counselor for food. I'm a real foodist. I really love food. Even if it's in the pot and the cream is made with herbs, it's a food too. It's from the outside. Yeah, so I felt really responsible when I was owner of 2 health food stores in the time of Chernobyl. And I felt so responsible when people asked me, what can we eat? There's no milk product to be eaten. We shouldn't eat berries. We shouldn't eat this and that. So when I came home from this famous initial meeting with macrobiotics, I felt I was good to be responsible for this question. And because I felt so, it felt so good. So there were, the better flow was really a subject, is really the subject, because when we are in the middle of when we think of our body fluids, and everything is fluid, there's not much left that is not fluid, we can have a stagnation, or we can have a too much of liquid is also possible. It's a different kind of an imbalance. When we want the right balance, then we have, and we feel it. How can we feel the right balance? We feel it because we live in an endurance. We can continue. You know, we don't have to rest constantly in between. We have no cravings, and perhaps we need less sleep. I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, these were the 3 points where I think this is a big difference from the regular conventional food. And until nowadays, I feel really fortunate to understand more and more of the laws of macrobiotic. Yeah. So we support our regulation system, our given regulation system. I mean, the body is done for taking in, being nourished, digesting, and giving away. So these 3 columns are there, and we can take them as for granted. We can block them, really. We can put them into an imbalance, or we can support them. And here we go with a recipe today. I want that we support our given liquids. There is liquid, no, there is the gallbladder. They are all in English, and I'm a good German speaker. So there is residual urine, there's pancreatic fluid, there's gastric juices. You all know we are full of lymph and full of blood, and that's how we function. and it should. What is a sign of being in a good function in all of this? This is the warmth. Warmth in the hands and warmth in the feet. And if I have a cool head, like we say in German, cool head and warm feet, warm hands, then the person is quite in balance, is quite ready to go. And that's when this all is really established. This is a good measurement, yeah, to know, okay, I'm good. But most of our people and most of the feet that I get into my hands, people talk about either they don't know the temperature of their feet or they have cold feet. Yeah, they have the extremities are very, very far away from where it's all happening. And if we give too much to happen in our digestive system, sure enough, the rest is a little bit under a need of circulation. The winter in which we are now and the spring, they are really best for this subject of the flow. Now, if we look into the 5 elements of macrobiotics, then we are in the element of water right now. I think where you all are, it must be similar. Is it winter? Here it's winter, and we will have a spring. And if the winter is well done, it supports the spring. I mean, if the water element is in its balance, it can support the going into the spring. And you know that from one season to the next, the step in between, the lap in between can be a real lap. Some people have to do a very big step to get to springtime. They get so tired, and they don't get out of their pantoffels, out of the shoes. This is when we're not in balance with the liquids, with the water element. We have to come from the water element to the air, to the wood in spring. Yeah, and what I wanted to say, what is a good sign too that we're in a well balance beside warmth? It's also that my skin and my mucus, no, how is it called? The other skin inside the lips and inside the nose, for example, in the stomach, this kind of skin has to be also not dry. If it's too dry, it's a sign of, yeah, not having only drunk too little, but of a complete, a renewal is necessary. Yeah. When we are born, we are full of liquid. We are full of liquid. And when we get mature and more mature and more mature, we have less liquid. Most of the time, the skin gets much drier. And when we are in the process of dying, then it shows that the liquid is disappearing, right? There is not much left, saliva and so on. It will be very, very little, and then it's the end. So something in between. This is to be life in life and feeling lively and feeling in balance. So I brought a lot of things that have what can I say, that are born plants as plants, yeah, and they also have a lot of liquid within them. Plants have juices, like we have blood. They have green juices most of the time, or very often. And I will show this different later, the different vegetables, but you can see there is something on the program. We don't have sticky stuff. What I call sticky stuff is what does the contrary of enhancing the liquid flow in us. That means we all know that are the milk products and the cheese, and these are the flour products, the white products. If a cereal isn't fully used, then it tends to be more sticky. Yeah, it doesn't leave the body so easily. So this is for me the sticky stuff. And the other thing is then it's kind of a young system, too young thing. And if we're too watery, we come into where we are consuming sugar, we are consuming potassium-rich vegetables, you know. The sticky stuff has most of the time salt. And the quality of salt is to keep water, retain water in the body. And the quality of sugar is the opposite. It just needs a lot of, it has a lot of watery quality then in the body. And this is the other extreme. It's not very good for us, you know. And something in between is the relationship between sodium and potassium. Should be 1 to 7 in average. And 1 to 7 means that I'm having very, very little salt. And we all know we have no salt or hardly any salt in macrobiotic cooking. We use our fermented condiments, our miso, and soy sauce, and all of this. And we can have a sugar taste in macrobiotics, but it will be coming from vegetables like pumpkin. This is so great. We have pumpkin in green. This is even sweeter than the sweet mama pumpkin. Hokkaido pumpkin is even sweeter than the other one most of the time, but it's really sweet. Or we cook onions longer, we have a sweetness. And we can also use sweeteners that are coming from rice, you know, from a cereal. So think of both extremes, that the one side, things that are holding you together, that are not giving you the possibility to let go, and things that explode and want to go and are too yin for you. These are the two extremes that we kind of exclude. I don't know who has been looking at the recipe today. I don't know if we can share it now, or if it's better to look at it for a moment, because some things will be considered to go a little bit different or a little bit more specialized. What do you think? Can you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I try to share, right? I try to share the recipe if it doesn't take too long.
Or I can try if you like.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Very
okay,
well.
so you continue, and I'll take me a few minutes.
Also, we start with the liquid, and many of the dishes, most of the dishes are quite based on liquid. So we can't go wrong with the question of drinking so much per day that is often recommended. We don't have to worry about drinking because our food is so much cooked in water very often. Yeah. So we start with a broth. We start with the broth. Thank you. It did work well. And the broth, I have used chanterelles. Chanterelle. These are special mushrooms. And I used the shiitake and the kombu as a soaking, for soaking, for making that is a special word. Yeah. So this mushroom soup will be flavored with shoyu. So that means you have a very smooth, a very good beginning for your meal. Your stomach is really opened by a very soft information. Yeah. And I like sometimes to replace the miso soup by a shoyu soup. And this right away, if you want, in the morning, after having, breakfast, after having fasted for so many hours, you can start it with a light broth and like it too, instead of something else. I won't say the word. So I can show you the rice paper wraps. We have some other things. We have a rice paper wrap with Hokkaido, and there you put, if you have the recipe, you have to give a taste to the azuki beans. I didn't put umesu. Concentrate, umesu is to be added into the pureed azuki beans, because they are here, there is no salt added. So come along with umesu. I hope you know this condiment. This is
Clara, you're taking notes here? Clara, take notes so we can make these recipes.
It's just
because it's down. Okay. Yeah. So umi with the beans. Okay.
Ume vinegar with the rice paper wraps.
Yeah.
With the beans.
Yeah. So you see, I will not leave the miso out right away. The next dish comes along with the miso. Yeah. And who knows Rudebecker? I have used a vegetable that is very, very big, can be very big and round. And when we have round vegetables, well, like the Hokkaido pumpkin that I showed, we have our middle is very well. You know, the earth quality within us is very underlined. And for the flow in within us, we need an inner strength for sure. No, we don't have to flow away. We shouldn't. Genau. So there is no change in my recipe, but besides that I can show you the dessert. I used black currants. I know that there is a lot of red berry juices out there, so you can take the grape juice, you can take Granatapfel, Granatapple. I use
pomegranate.
Yeah.
Pomegranate.
Yeah, thank you. I use these juices because they are giving a nice color to the whole thing. Yeah. So having had a good meal, you see, with buckwheat and with round vegetables, you're very well satisfied, and you can have a little dessert that gives you a little switch up, you know. It's like something that opens, the dessert opens us, gives us like a very good feeling. Yeah, the well-being comes often with the dessert when the meal is really balanced. And it balances even out, right? So I have prepared so many things. It is all here. If you only could smell the kitchen, and if you could see what's going on. Like this is the almond butter on the berries made with kudzu. You all know kudzu, I guess.
Can you lift it a little higher so we could see it? The bowl, the food.
I go a little bit away, or I stand.
Yeah. Perfect.
You do this in this way that sometimes you can use a machine, but as it's not necessary, whenever electricity I can avoid it, I use my hand. And gets a nice puree, and it's very nutritious through the almonds. I said,
yeah, I'd like to try that.
Yeah, you have to try it. Right now, the almond butter, by the sourness of the fruit, there's a little acidity in there too. So it's balanced, and I can show you. I said a pinch of salt you add into the dessert, but I added a little bit of umesu. So I think that the sourness helps the almond butter to be well digested. That's what I can recommend you. Also, a drop of umesu So, and this is what helps to have the maximum of well-being today. It is, I mean, if I do it more longer, it's a little bit more liquid, but it's a nice solidity in it. And here you go. I have little portions like this for everybody.
Do you have amount of kuzu per liquid?
Yeah, I knew this was coming. I took half a liter of liquid, a quarter of juice and a quarter of water. And I took 1.5 tablespoon kudzu. It's not so easy, the kudzu, to use these pieces and then measure them well. So yeah. About this, yeah. And 1 tablespoon of almond butter, right. So the brew, can you imagine? Oh, if you only had the taste, I mean the smell. I have a combo in there. The combo that I'm cooking in the broth is going to be used in another dish, right? I take it out. And then I have the possibility to put a little bit of green, if you want, on it. And yeah, it's a transparent broth of mushrooms. And it's smelling really great. So I want to give you an idea what I use as a green. This vegetable is called kale. And in winter, for me, this is the best green to use. Means I'm cutting it in very small pieces. And I'm using it wherever I think it can fit. And on such a broth, I can cut this very small, and then I put a little bit on top. Yeah, it's very good to enhance to awaken something within us if we put green, and if we put it raw. A little bit of raw, also in winter time, is really important. This green is also on the dish. There's another dish where I said put green on top. That's where I use this too. Yeah. This is the buckwheat surprise. The buckwheat has been a pure buckwheat. You know it all to cook the buckwheat. But when you put some walnuts on it, into it, and onions that are blanched and marinated, it gets really very delicious. Yeah. I recommend you not to put the whole meal or the courses together, but to take 1 or 2 dishes of the meal and cook it for 1 meal. And then the next day you can try another of the dishes, because this is, yeah, depends on the quantity of cooks in the kitchen. And since I'm mostly not alone, I'm doing these kind of meals that have made different dishes. So a marinated onion is really delicious, and the walnuts. Do you know the idea about soaking them in salted water? What happens with this? The digestion is better, is easier. Nuts are very, very heavy to digest, and when you soak them and when you give them a little bit the salt, then they are more balanced. They are very fatty. So with a little salt, this fat is well everywhere into your body. Comes to have warm feet, and comes and helps you to have warm hands. Yeah, it's well distributed. That's the word, distributed. Also fatty nuts, please. Do them, put them together with a little salty or little fermented salty thing, and they get much more digestible. And here I put them into the buckwheat. Oh, we are so great in time. This relaxes me. This relaxes me. I put now into the buckwheat, I put the onions that I have prepared. The buckwheat is cooked, the onions are marinated. Exactly. And then the shoyu, which has been used for marination, can be a little bit giving some taste into the buckwheat here too. You don't put it all, you just put a part of it. So, and I put some, you can cut the walnuts or you can have the better halves, which I prefer because then you have something to chew on. You realize them more, their taste. This would be the buckwheat dish. Very, very easy to do and very gives you really a good energy for this weather. We have rain. We have not the best weather right now. We have to be strong. What I do now, I put on the oven. Yeah, prepared. I have prepared this Rutabaga, and there are carrots in there, and there has been, so they are nearly done. At the end, I'm going to put broccoli in there. Broccoli doesn't need so much time, no, not too much. Do you remember, somebody told you already, you learned that broccoli can be used in so many ways. Now I'm using only the so-called flower. For me, it's the flower, the upper part. You can also use the stem, and when you use the stem, you just peel it, and then you have all these. The stem is delicious. Probably it's not new for you, but don't forget, many of the vegetables we use, we eat them entirely. There's nothing that will be thrown out, right? This is a good example. So here will be the broccoli. Can you see me when I'm going there? Yes. You can. And I have broccoli, which I put in here. And the bit of broccoli, you know, that it's cut into very small pieces. Here we go. We have something green and raw to put on our soup or put on our cereal, whatever. Also these kind of things. So don't think you shouldn't have a raw part. I don't use lots of salads, but I use very consciously small quantities of raw. Can you hear the sound? Because that's what I wanted, that you hear the cooking. Since you cannot see that, you cannot eat it and cannot taste it. So. These are the sorted vegetables, and when they are ready, there will be a miso on there. Now I will give them the final touch with miso. So for each person, there is a little bit miso, like in the soup. I think a teaspoon of miso per person is all right. In a dish like this, it won't be as much. It will be perhaps half a spoonful. Now we come to the rice paper wraps. So I took the Hokkaido pumpkin and it's all prepared already. The mix is prepared. You have Atsuki beans. Atsuki beans, they get very easily into a cooked state so that you have like an easygoing, no, it's not a pate, but it's something like this. And I have green cucumbers. Yeah, cucumbers always green. But I mean, I have sour cucumbers, milk sour. They are quite nice. I put them within. So they give the pickle, you know, we always want to have a pickle in the meal, and they give the pickle and they give the sourness. I have this always as a reminder here somewhere. So I remember every day, perhaps mostly every meal, I put some pickles. Mostly self-made. Sometimes you can buy a sauerkraut. So the rice paper, probably you have also worked with this. It's such a nice thing to do this when you have guests, you know, because it's like for a first dish, an appetizer, you can use it. They are also in smaller, they can be also smaller, and then you fill them with your favorite filling. My filling today is Atsuki Hokkaido cucumber. It's nice, a nice color. I hope it comes transparent and can show itself. You know, whenever there is a question to one of these ingredients, go ahead. Right now, I could answer. I think I will try to answer if you want. I think for the special celebration day in Israel, it's nice to have such a menu. It's green, it's tasty. So I have to soak this for a little while, not too much, not too long, and not too little, unless it can break. This rice paper breaks easily. This rice paper is just to hold it together and to give it a different shape and to give it, you know, it's like a finger food. That's nice about it. So the Atsuki beans, I have put in there in summer, it's a summer roll. In winter, it's like a winter roll. We know it is spring rolls. I think that's how the Chinese say. So you can invent your roll of the season. Yeah, here it should be working. Atsuki beans, they are delicious. They are for the flow within us, especially for the organs that are so important to have them in a good state, in a good state in wintertime. The bladder and the kidney. No? And Atsuki beans, to regulate them well, are the best. Buckwheat is very good here in the winter time. If we use what is as a vegetable, what can be conserved through winter, then we are never wrong. Like pumpkin, like carrots. This is how it can look. Looks like a little bit like a sausage. It has a lot of color coming through, shining through. you would perhaps know what you drink in wintertime when we have all these liquids during the meal. I consider drinking is, also for me, it's not important during the meal because all the food that we have, when you chew it well, when we produce good saliva, then we do everything for a best digestion. But then before or after the meal, you might like to have a drink. And for me, it's most of the time really this pancha tea or kukisha tea that I use. I use it once fresh. Also I just pour water, boiling water over it. And even kukisha, I don't boil it in the beginning. I put boiling water on it and let it stand for 10 minutes. It's a very, very strengthening tea. I don't know if you used it like this before. And then I collect a little bit, 2 or 3 portions, and then they are boiled for 5 minutes, simmered, they're simmered, and then you have another tea and another tea as you put more tea leaves or tea branches in there. It helps to be in a balance. It's a real lightly against acidity. It is smooth and it's well digested or well supported by the stomach. I know most of you drink this kind of teas. So this is all looking very good here. Chanterelle in the brews, you know, Pfifferlinge. In German, it's Pfifferlinge. And I thought chanterelle, the word is a French word. It's even not a French word. It's English. I was very surprised, as I'm around to speak a good French, and you see how much German I speak. But I like to be around with people whose language is a different one from my mother tongue. So what is concerning my offers is that I'm doing this kind of courses with people, and often I can initiate people who have a little bit something with their skin. They have a gray colored skin, or they have a too red, too pink skin because the skin is perhaps irritated or dry, you know. And this kind of food, the food that we have today, this menu is really very well for the skin in general. The mucus will leave you in the right way, and the inner skins and the outer skin is very well supported here. And when you think of everything that has to do with the water element, or also with the metal element, you do something for your skin. Yeah, the skin should also be the skin. We can go outside. We should be in all seasons outside and protect us well and be outside and have the breathing. And the skin is a breathing organ. The skin is what we can't digest inside, we digest finally with the skin. And that's why the skin sometimes shows there is something to be done. It's not well digested. So the skin is at the last moment, at the last step to be able to let something go, to detox. Yeah, the skin is there, and it's very important that we in a way welcome when the skin shows us it's not perfect. In the moment something is not right, the skin can show this. So that means then you start again, probably also with what you are preparing for yourself. Not only what you put on your skin, also what you do from inside. And if you ever come across your skin, you might ask me, your questions in the times that come. Yeah, I hope to be there for an advice for you and can help you if there is help needed. I have a very big jar and I use miso. I use these kilo jars and I love them. It gives me always this feeling of I have plenty, you know. I can use little, but I have plenty, and nothing can go wrong. So for the dish in the pan, we use the miso. And I put a little miso for everybody, also the many persons that you have around your table. They each get half a teaspoon, and then you put a little warm water on it. And with this mixture, you have it in the hot pan for a couple of minutes. Not too long, it just needs a little of heat to be well used. I'm so thankful to be able to talk to you and that you have been there, even muted. I know that one can hear. And we are not all awake yet. And I'm very happy to have people listen to the video later.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Very well done. You're well prepared. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, now you can come and we can sit together.
Very good. Hold on. And once again, thank you.